Thank you, Dr. Mahinder. We'll come back to this aspect again later. Dr. Kanakadurga, you were working for NGOs. Now, could you enlighten us a little more about the role of NGOs? First, in terms of financial aid that they can provide to our students. And later on, we have students who are so service-oriented, they want to set up NGOs and they want to go ahead and serve the, specialized vulnerable populations. So what do you have to say about this? The role of NGOs in education and also in delivery.
There are two aspects here. One is the passion for service, and the other is your mainstream profession itself. Now you can combine both. If you want to go purely into an NGO stream, I would advise an international NGO would be better. But with so many areas of conflict around the world, life will not be that easy. So you have to research and do your work carefully, like your homework carefully, before you actually step into that sector. But it's a wonderful area as far as satisfaction is concerned. These NGOs, they penetrate into areas where the mainstream medical, mainstream medical progress does not reach. So there are a lot of people working at the grassroots level in the NGOs, and the kind of satisfaction that you derive, the happiness, for instance, you go to a remote area and you conduct a health camp, and you see, the instant happiness that happens around you. That's a totally different picture. But realistically speaking, monetarily, it may not sustain you. So somewhere to balance between these two, I would suggest you have your mainstream profession. Suppose you have a hospital setup or your practice setup. You can also do an outreach program. You can have an NGO wing, you can register an NGO, and you can do some service in your spare time. For instance, once in 15 days or once in a week, you go to some place and you do your service there, and you have your satisfaction of, having a mainstream profession as well as you can hear, right?
Hold it closer. Just hold it closer.
Not clear. So I think you have to really balance between the two, between the passion and between the practicalities, the monetary considerations. Not much money in NGO. It's purely a passion, a service-oriented thing. I mean, I'm not talking of, there is money if you take up a job in big NGOs, international NGOs, but that's why I said you have to choose your research and then choose your job carefully. This is my experience.
Dr. Manisha, you are dealing with NGOs too, so would you like to add anything?
So actually, as Dr. Kanakadurga already pointed out, what we do is, like we have our own clinics, we practice our profession, that's the mainstream occupation we have. But in addition to that, we conduct camps, outreach programs, we train, for instance, in our field, nephrology, there is a dearth of transplant coordinators. So whenever there is some brain death patient, the transplant coordinators, what they do is they counsel the patient to donate the organs. In India, there is a lot of need for these organs. Liver patients are waiting, kidney patients are waiting. So for these patients, we are not able to get the organs because nobody goes and advises them that there is an option of donating your organs after brain death. And if proper counseling is done, we realize many of the people, whether Muslims, Hindus, Christians, they are willing to donate the organs. So in India, we are wasting a lot of organs because we just nobody goes and counsels them. And this counseling is not done by the doctor because doctor is in the theater preparing for the transplant, and everybody is busy. So you need some middlemen, and this job is done by transplant coordinators. So what NGO services we have taken up is we are training our staff who are interested. Some sisters are interested, technicians are interested, or even those people who are 12th class or 10th class educated and they are not doing anything, especially the girls sitting at home. So we are training them to pass on this message. So they get some salary, they are happy with it because they are just working out of the passion for working. They don't need it actually. So they are working, they counsel, they feel very important, they feel nice about it, that they are able to convert families to organ donation. So what I feel is, for having a sustained relationship or working as an NGO, you should have your mainstream occupation and find out ways and means around it to get associated with an NGO for the betterment of the society. So this is what we are doing in Osmania. We have these health camps. We go to various districts and screen the patients free of cost. Then we have these transplant coordinator programs and screening programs, because in our country we have a lot of chronic kidney disease and nobody knows about it. People don't even know that they have diabetes and hypertension. So we go out maybe once in a week or once in 15 days, we have these camps, and that's how, and we are taking the help of some NGOs, for example, Mohan Foundation in the field of transplant. So we also seek their help. They send their transplant coordinators free of cost to train the new people, the new girls, 12th class pass girls, and they help us out. So that's what our interaction with the NGO is.